Summer Game Fest 2025 is now the dearly departed, but not before we got a couple of very interesting games to look forward to. And that's right, I said look forward to. Top of our list here at the Outpost, the Expanse Osiris Reborn, a new offering by Owlcat Games. Yes, that game studio that brings us things like Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. Up until this announcement, they have focused on isometric CRPGs. And believe me when I say there are people who are not happy that they're going to be moving into the realm of action RPG. But never fear, if isometric CRPGs are your thing, they have announced more Rogue Trader and a new 40k game, Dark Heresy. The company clearly knows their roots, and unlike some studios I can name, BioWare, they don't appear to be abandoning those roots anytime soon. However, that's not stopping them from jumping into the AAA game space with a third-person action RPG full of cinematics, choice, and a heavily narrative-driven experience. We say, good on you, Owlcat. There are precious few studios making these types of games. We're still hoping that Archetype Entertainment's Exodus, and even the Chinese Room's Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, will make some serious waves in this game space as well. But what are we going to get with the Expanse Osiris Reborn? Lots of folks are already comparing it to Mass Effect, but creative director Alexander Mishulin of Owlcat Games said in a recent interview with IGN that while Mass Effect offers a lot of inspiration, this is in fact an Owlcat game in the Expanse universe, and they intend to put all the hallmarks of their game design into it and not copy Mass Effect. So what do we know about this game? Well, in that same IGN interview, Mishulin said that, in fact, you're the leader of a team of mercenaries. This is not a zero to hero. You're not a schmuck trying to figure out which end of a gun is which. And daddy dying and giving you a super AI doesn't suddenly make you team leader. Called it. Was I throwing shade on Andromeda? Though there are more Mass Effect, especially Mass Effect Andromeda similarities here. When you create your character, and yes, we get an honest-to-God character creator, Mishulin says this is a modern character creator where you have nice hairstyles, nice features, and everything else you've come to expect from those. But like Andromeda, you create your twin as well. Now, it'll be a twin whatever you are, so brother and brother or sister and sister. And your sibling will be your first companion. Let's hope they don't put them on ice like Andromeda did. It'd be fun for that character not to instantly die, rather play off of your character and give you an instant individual you have knowledge of and a rapport with. Also during character creation, you get to set some of the basic parameters and playstyle for your character. Do you want this character to be a sniper? And your character will be fully voiced. As for the story, this is a story that's going to take place at the beginning of Season 1 through the middle of Season 3 of the TV series. This means you're going to be playing within canon events. So while Holden and the Rocinante may be doing the heavy lifting in this universe, our characters get to occupy their own specific space. This does a couple of really important things in a game like this. This means whatever happens is going to be much more local and personal, and that's something I'm stoked for. I have no problem playing within larger events so that I have a very personal story. So often in giant sweeping epics, it's hard to give your character a truly personal story. But that is what Owlcat is going for. And, as you would expect, you're going to have all of those character dynamics. They want the politics that happen with the Expanse to play into how your companions react to certain events. And since you're going to have companions who are either Martians or born on Earth or Belters, you're going to have a wide range of political opinions that may clash with each other. And they're going to do romances. They didn't give us any details on which characters were which or who you could romance and not. They just let us know that it's in there. When asked by IGN how adult this game was going to be, given that The Expanse was on Amazon Prime, started on Sci-Fi and then moved over, Mishulin said you can expect the same level of adult content. But they weren't going to be quite as dark. This is funny coming from a studio known for the grim dark 40k universe games, but it will have lighter moments, and that's good. Too much depressing darkness is just too much depressing darkness. They will be keeping it well grounded in practical science, like the books and the TV show, but they're not going to be so rigid as to make sure there's no fun. Mishulin called that out specifically. They want this game to be fun. It is a game after all. Again, I applaud this, as you need to actually allow for mechanics of a game over the harsh reality of hard science. As far as characters from the TV show making appearances in the game, that's going to happen. No details on who those might be. However, there is a merch page that does feature Miller's outfits. 2 of them, in fact. So it might be that Miller from the TV show will actually show up and may even be a companion. Of course, if you've seen the show or read the books, you know what happens to Miller already, but that is well after the middle of Season 3. When asked about their readiness for this, given that they are a smaller studio, Mishulin did say they ramped up for this. They brought in people who knew these areas and tapped their expertise to make this game as good as they can. In answering the question of how they've ramped up, Mishulin wandered into the topic that certain things were going to have impact in the game, such as time. And, as in Rogue Trader, depending on which mission you do before another, you will see reactivity in that universe. Go someplace very early, those decisions will ripple through the rest of the game. And go to that same place later in another playthrough, your world may turn out much different, as they are going for multiple endings and multiple outcomes for various characters. They did not give a release date, although apparently they have one in mind and they're shooting for. We're not privy to it. Given that this is Owlcat and their penchant for doing very story-driven games and lots of mechanics, we're actually somewhat excited. I say somewhat because we don't know when it's coming out and they could always disappoint us. But I'd say we have a bit more confidence in them than maybe the Chinese room. This sound like a game you want? Let us know in the comments below. And remember, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.